welcome back to the Smarktank Revolution, where we always kick out at 2. We are your benevolent hosts, Mr. Donnie Wonderful, a.k.a. Big Time Donnie.
That's right.
Next to the Taunton Tribe. You're not no longer the Taunton
I'm not the Taunton
Chief.
Tribal Chief anymore. I am the Taunton voice of the voiceless, Mr. Joey Business. And we are coming at you live, 10-1, here off the heels, and it just ended, of AEW Double or Nothing 2022.
That doubled the time. I mean, like,
good Lord.
And Mr. Khan, listen, just for us on the East Coast, I know it's Memorial Day weekend. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying. But if some of us that work retail jobs had to work in the morning, like, Lord, it's 1 o'clock.
Yeah, dude. I mean, this was a stacked card. And not to mention, it was a very anticipated card, for me especially, because we all know the gigantic CM Punk mark that I am.
Yes.
Which, no shame in my game, but I was looking very forward to this pay-per-view. Had a stacked card, but looking at the notebook here, it was all over the place, and we'll go over that, because that's fitting for us. Everything's all over the place.
Very, very tangential. We are the tangential tyrants.
That's right. So it started off very surprisingly with MJF and Wardlow right off the bat. Like, I thought that this was going to possibly be a co-main event.
It was the pairing on the card that had, I guess, the longest build up to it, because it was years in the making.
Right.
We saw this happening, as my co-host is yawning, because, like we said, it's almost 1 a.m. But but yeah, so this feud was simmering for a while, and then MJF had Wardlow jump through those hoops the same way he had Cody do a few years ago.
Right.
So, like, yeah, this one had the sauce all on it already. It's just ready for us to poke at it and eat.
And it was a quick meal, because basically, after everything percolated, we expected some kind of a match. I expected MJF to pull out all kinds of nefarious means to try to snake a win. And, it's no secret that I've become an MJF mark myself, and I feel like he is the future of AEW.
Absolutely.
Really feel like he is.
Oh, yeah.
And his booking, it's amazing. And what resonates with me more that he's the future is the fact through his booking he stays so strong.
Yes.
In people's minds. Because he loses...
once a year.
But he loses the big feuds and still is able to maintain that momentum and spot on the card and importance in fans' eyes.
Because, you know what, to stay on that just for a little bit.
Sure.
So he loses his first match, I guess, officially to Jon Moxley for the AEW title.
Right.
He then loses to CM Punk.
Right. Yeah. The whole feud.
Both of those huge angles. Yeah. And then, spoiler alert, well, you're listening to a review here. He loses tonight
to Wardlow in a fashion that I'm not sure how I feel about it, but I think you enjoyed it. It was essentially a prolonged squash match.
Yeah. I enjoyed it because, we still got to see him work as a heel.
Right.
The cowardly...
Yes, big time.
Like the cowardly mannerisms at the beginning of the match. That always works, because here's a wrestler that understands he's a heel, that works as a heel, on or off the clock. I always will respect that.
Right.
The same principles that we praise the Undertaker for protecting his character and his gimmick, MJF is doing it, and he's living it. In every aspect. Yeah,
absolutely. Even more so than The Undertaker, where he's got his closest loved ones to him in on the gimmick. Like, his parents are in on it. They, unless they really don't like him, but I highly doubt it, they're in on it, and they keep it going. And I think it's refreshing to see somebody who takes such pride in the body of work of the gimmick that he's willing to go to these lengths to protect it.
Right.
And I saw something, we'll go off on our first tangent. I saw this Making of MJF documentary on YouTube a couple weeks back, where the guy was going through, and it was almost a mockumentary, but you didn't know because, you started getting like humble sides of Max and this and that, and then it turned out that he was faking the interview the whole time to try to seem like an everyman, when really he turned out to be this super rich guy from Long Island with a family, and they rented a fake house to do the interview, and he was trying. It was just so MJF, it hurt. It was funny as hell. It left the ambiguity out there. But regardless, so Wardlow looked like a stud. Mm-hmm. He gave him 10 power bombs.
And that was the entire match.
The whole match, every move was a power bomb. He gave him 10 of them throughout the 4 or 5 minutes the match was. And, hey, listen, power bombs are a tough bump to take. And MJF took 10 of those things.
10 of them.
And, sold, and then he did the stretcher job, and that was great. And
all a part of just
right.
effectively playing the gimmick. The gimmick heel. He's not going to walk out, no. He's going to get the neck brace.
Get the neck brace and the oxygen in the nose and get carted out. But it was tough because he did it all, and then he lost. So you got to wash the taste out of the Wardlow feud. Whatever he goes on to next has to be strong. And I'm hoping, to be honest with you,
he can still do this. This is still strong because
I know, but I don't want to see him with Wardlow anymore.
Okay.
I'm honestly thinking I don't think they'll shoot him to CM Punk right away.
No.
I think it's because Tony Khan. I say Tony like I know him. Tony Khan tries to establish a culture of wins and losses means something in AEW, and he's trying to keep it so that you earn your right into that title picture. If you're just coming off a losing feud, you ain't going in the title picture. Right. You know what I mean? So, but he could go into the what's it called? The TNT title picture.
Yes, I was thinking the same thing.
He could go into, I don't know if they're going to end up defending them, but, we're getting ahead of ourselves. But he could go into another title that we'll talk about later. Regardless, it was hard to rank this. So I ranked it forever, for the first time ever, a no count. I ranked it a no count. And you ranked it a no count 3 count.
Yes. So if you're listening to the first time, our rating scale is very bipolar and very unique.
Absolutely.
But we rank things according to the pinfalls of wrestling. 1, 2, 3, 1.5, 2.5, 3.5. Sometimes a 1.5, as we'll get.
It's a good 1.5.
It's a good 1.5.
Right.
This one is a no count for me, but the reason why I said a no count 3 count is because I still loved how strong it made Wardlow, and I love how MJF, was able to protect himself as a dominant heel.
Yeah,
I think that all worked.
Yeah, it all fit within, and Wardlow, to me, this is one of those feuds that MJF's going to be able to brush it off right away.
Yeah.
The CM Punk one, I think, hurt him a bit.
But he beat him first.
And he beat him in Chicago twice in the same night.
So that's always the saving grace.
There's a saving grace to that. But, yeah, I think he'll brush this one off and bounce back. But then what followed was something that I thought was going to be a hell of a lot better than what it was.
Oh, man.
And it was a dream match for me. They took the Young Bucks, and they put them against the Hardys as in a tag team match. Yeah. And I have always said that the Young Bucks are like the evolution and the succession of the Hardys, that whatever the Hardys did in their prime, the Young Bucks do it better, smoother, and faster, and more innovative.
Yeah, exactly. So basically, it's the Hardy, the dream match that we've all dreamt up, which actually may have turned into a nightmare.
Yeah, it's the mirror match in the Mortal Kombat world, and it didn't turn out to be that because.
Well, first of all, the Hardy Boys are old now.
Stop
older.
Saying that.
They're
older.
They're not old. They're older, but they can't bump like they used to.
No, they're aged up.
So, what I was saying was that if this were even 2014.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It would be
this
a different story.
A different match.
Hell, if this was 2018, I think it would have been a different story. The thing is, it's the Hardys not in their prime. Hell, the Hardys aren't even in their, broken prime. You know what I mean? When they did the Expedition of Gold and they, were collecting the belts a couple years back, they were still putting on really good matches. Fun fact, they did have a match against the Bucks for, I believe, the AAA championship. or the Omega Tag titles or something like that.
Then we're gonna have to go back to that, and then
I watched that. It was great. It was much better
compared to this.
Much better. This bothered me right from the entrance, not from the Bucks, but it bothered me right when Jeff came out. Something didn't look right with Jeff, and I don't want to speculate because I'm not that guy.
Maybe he's
we
wrestling
all
hurt.
Have demons. Yeah, he might be hurt. He might
hurt.
be tired. I don't know what it was. He looked off. But he didn't look drunk off. He didn't look Victory Road off, and I won't say that. He just looked like, I don't know, maybe Victory Road off. Maybe this was a tough go. Maybe he's jet lagged. I don't know. Matt Hardy looked kind of
4 days.
Yeah, all right, whatever. Matt Hardy looked kind of off too. It just looked like that this thing. I mean, I expected a spot monkey fest like you wouldn't believe. I was excited. And it really didn't go anywhere.
It was just slow.
It was slow, very grounded, peppered with a few super kicks, couple twists of fates. I mean, some beautiful twists of fates, the way they were sold. And a couple botches.
Yeah.
Like, Jeff Hardy was going up to the belt. He was going up to the top rope, but he was noticeably slow. He was slipping. He was losing his footing. He was just kind of lagging going up those ropes.
Listen, it was like watching this match on like if you're like we're on YouTube now. Just go to the playback speed and put like 0.5.
Yeah, it was definitely
like
on
that.
like a
Yeah.
it was it made the Bucks tried to work down, I felt like, rather than work up. And with that being what way it is, knowing that the Bucks are the workhorses and the Hardys are going to be, the ones who kind of are the flavor to the match, I figured the right move was to have the Bucks go over. I really did.
Well, in their AAA match, for the AAA tag match, who went over?
The Hardys went over. They collected the belts from the Bucks.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, now that you say it, I mean, I think that the older vets wouldn't mind doing the job to the Bucks. But seeing that the Bucks are still the EVPs, I'm like, do they need it?
They don't need it, but do the Hardys need it?
Let me ask you this. Would you think it would have been a better display had the Hardys faced FTR here?
Yes. I think they would have mixed better.
Okay.
Because there's something about the way that the Bucks are I told you, the Bucks are on a way different level. In-ring wise than any other tag team. They're on an amazing level. There's a thing about chemistry, and then there's a thing about in-ring mechanics.
Yeah.
And in-ring mechanics, the Bucks can put on like a 4-star in their sleep.
Yeah.
Up to a 5-star. Whereas something like it's all about chemistry, where like an RK Bro is so entertaining because the chemistry is so undeniably good and unexpected.
Good reference.
That they pull out amazing performances either through, fan interaction, the experience, and they just don't look like they mix, and they make great paintings. Whereas the Bucks, they are brothers. They know each other. They've been doing this since they were little kids, and they grew up idolizing the Hardys, and they grew up in the same area, and they're from the same thing. They're both from Carolina, I believe, North Carolina.
I thought really the Bucks were really from Cucamonga, Rancho Cucamonga.
Oh,
they were from California.
They're from California?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm really wrong on that, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry. I thought the Bucks were from North Carolina. But anyways, you could tell the Bucks patting themselves after Matt and Jeff Hardy. I mean, fuck, their name is Matt and Nick, who's close to Matt and Jeff. So, I mean, maybe their parents were Hardy Boys fans. I don't know.
Hardy Boy fans.
But the thing is, this wasn't the dream match it was supposed to be or what I thought it would be. And hell, it was kind of slapped together. It didn't have a big video package. It wasn't a huge feud. It was like, hey, Matt and Jeff, Nick and Matt.
It just seemed like,
sounds like a good match to me.
It was an idea because they're a good pairing.
Yeah, but it's just, on paper, sounds great. Execution-wise, I felt like, you even said it a couple of times, we're like, are they calling the match now in the ring, like as they go? Because it looked all discombobulated. There was so many spots that were wrong. even we were like, oh my God, is Jeff really going to do a swanton outside of the ring on stairs?
But calling it in the ring especially with the Bucks, kind of preserves, I guess, like the core essence of wrestling. I think because if the Bucks, and I love the Bucks,
I love the Bucks.
They have the tendency to have spots fest matches.
Yes, of course.
They're always diving and jumping off of shit.
Yep.
So especially when you're working with an older veteran team, if you're calling it in the ring, like it keeps it a little bit more organic to me.
Yeah.
But I ranked it a 2.
I ranked it a 2 as well. I couldn't go any higher, and it hurt me because I love both teams. I am a big Matt and Jeff fan, but the problem was, I'm not a big fan of their run so far in AEW. We saw them live too. We were like, it was the match that was fucked up of the night. It was with the ladder. Yeah,
the table match.
The table match. We were like, where did that table go? Like, what happened? Like, they broke the table at the beginning. And then everyone ignored it and just kept going for 20 minutes. So, like, they just really haven't been on fire in AEW. However, I will say this. Jeff and Darby Allin had one killer match.
Yeah.
And it was incredible. So I guess when I looked at that version of Jeff, I go, man, he's still got it. So I can't wait to see what they do with the Bucks. They just didn't click.
Well, what about Matt? What was Matt's classic match in AEW thus far, or the reference to the go-to match for you?
Oh man,
Matt and Sammy.
Matt and Sammy with the golf cart. Oh no, that's a spot.
That's a spot.
No, Matt and Sammy, I guess, but it wasn't that great.
Yeah,
Matt and Sammy. Matt, let's face it. Matt is more entertaining as a character than Jeff. He has more ability to put into his character, world build, make it interesting. He's like Bray Wyatt, he's able to just kind of formulate things. Jeff is a purely talented in-ring guy who you puts on a spectacle and you love it. So he mixes with a Darby Allin, he mixes with a Sammy Guevara, he mixes with the likes of those people. But this time tonight, I thought this was like a no-brainer. They would be on autopilot and just kicking at. It just didn't click right from the get-go. And then it was slowed down, basically. It felt like you said, watching a tape at half speed or quarter speed. The gears grinded all the way, and it was not smooth. And the Hardys won. I forget how they won. Swanton, okay.
On Nick.
On Nick. But I mean, there's a couple of twist of fates that Matt gave that were unreal. That
and shout out to Nick Jackson who literally took those bumps as if he landed right on the top crown of his head.
Yeah, I know. And his neck looked like, I'm like, man, he's dead. Oh, he's good. So I mean, I expected more. We got less. And I'm sure that maybe if they get another go, maybe at a different time with a bigger build, it might be a different story. But for now, that's what I'm giving. I'm giving it a 2.
Oh, okay. Yeah, 2 count for me.
And then, up next, and as you know, we're just going through this roughshod tonight. We're not, breaking it down and giving you 2 bite piecemeal. We're not serving you a 9-course meal or a 12-course meal in this case. We're just giving it to you in one smorgasbord. So Jade Cargill versus Anna Jay of the Dark Order. And this was your filler match. And it's a shame because Jade Cargill is now 32-0 in All Elite Wrestling.
That's a shame?
No, it's a shame that it was a filler match because Jade Cargill is 32-0.
Well, I mean, she's a champion.
She's a force. She deserves a better billing, I feel. And she'll get there, I guess.
She's getting better in the ring. So.
She has to get better in the ring. That's the issue. She's not Nia Jax where she's botching people left and right and hurting them. She's got everything you need to succeed. The mouthpiece, the look, the body, the presence. She's got to get the wrestling up to the rest of those.
She's learning on the job.
Yeah, she is. She's learning on the job.
And you're doing a damn good job at it, baby.
Yeah, she is. Danelle straight up gave this a no count, 3 count because.
All right.
Because just because she was there.
I've seen Jade have better matches. Like,
absolutely.
I really was a fan of the finish off the top. I've never seen her do that before, but like the reason why I think I gave this I gave this a no count because actually I'm gonna have to rescind that.
Okay, resend it.
I'll get this is one of those. I prefaced it earlier. This is one of those good 1.5 counts.
Yep.
You know, like I'm just gonna leave it there because like I wouldn't rewatch this.
No.
Except for that the final move spot.
Yeah, off the top.
But that's about it. I mean, like I love the work that Jade Cargill's doing. You know, Anna Jay, like physically looks like she matches well with
Anna Jay did fine. She held her own. It was a good little filler match.
Yeah.
But I gave it a 1 count because there was just not enough there for me. Like, this is a woman who's holding a title, and you're on a pay-per-view where every match kind of means something on this pay-per-view.
Yeah.
I felt like this could have been left on the cutting room floor.
Yeah.
Because if this was going to cut out 15 minutes and put us to bed a little earlier, I'm all for it. Because sometimes Tony bloats these pay-per-views.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Sometimes Tony Khan bloats these pay-per-views. I don't know Tony.
4.5, 5 hours.
4.5 hours. It's WrestleMania-esque. But yeah, people have been saying, Double or Nothing is AEW's WrestleMania, and I guess it kind of is. So I gave it a 1. You gave it what was it again?
No, 1.5.
1.5. Okay, so that's fine, and I think we can move on. And up next was a 6-man tag. It was House of Black versus Penta Pac and Rey Fenix.
Yeah, so this right here, the 4th match of the night, I think this is where the crowd came alive. And this is also where the everything finally began to gel. You know, like the camaraderie between all these wrestlers, spot on, phenomenal. Spots were clean. You know, everything looked good. Of course, there was the dreaded apron spots that's going to eventually end someone's career. But like right now, they seem to be getting away with them, and they're executing them somewhat flawlessly. But I love Pac, Penta, Ray. You know, everything they do looks sharp and crisp.
Yeah, and they are a very good matchup with pretty much anybody. But House of Black, man, from the entrance alone.
Best entrance in the
Wow, what an entrance. So foreboding. Unbelievably just cool. The air changes when they get there. Every one of these guys in this ring,
I want their masks, by the way,
I love their mask. Their mask is epic. But every single one of these guys can go.
Wait, what did I gave? I gave this a 3, right?
We both gave it 3, so it's hard not to.
Yeah, this match was great. The only detraction I have on it now was the surprise new addition to the House of Black.
Oh, yeah.
And the lights went out.
Yeah.
And they came back on. I'm thinking, oh, Wyndham Rotunda.
Oh, God, yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah, I was so excited. I thought Bray Wyatt, or Wyndham Rotunda, as you want to put it, was ready. And I was like, man, what a move that would be. But instead we retreated to Julia Hart in some weird turn, and some Muda missed, and I was I dragged it slightly down. It could have been a 3.5 for me. It was so good. The crowd was chanting, "This is awesome," and I agreed with them.
I agree with them too. Like this right here, I think this is where this is where the pay-per-view started for me.
Yep. Agreed.
You know, I not taking anything away from MJF and Wardlow. Like,
no, this is where it started.
That was a squash match that had purpose. But this is where it started for me.
Yeah. This is exactly where it started for me. And it was, like the thing is, what's his name? Malachi Black. Those feet, Tommy End's kicks, those roundhouses. Mm-hmm. Man, he does those with like stunt double precision, because you take one of those the wrong way, you are fucking out.
Yeah, see, or your jaw's broken.
Yeah, one of the two, you are out. You take that flush and you just say, good night. And he does it so quick, so lightning. It's just like bang, bang. And it's like good. One of my dream matches is him and Bryan Danielson. I want to see that match.
That's inevitably going to happen.
So bad.
That's inevitably
because they didn't have a chance in WWE. I want to see that match. So I stand by my 3 count wholly, and it was a good 3 count. Up next, though, was the men's final of the Owen Hart tournament, which I love the idea behind this tournament.
Well, now we know that it's an annual thing. Now.
It's an annual thing, you know. Hey, Martha Hart gets to get paid. She's on that dole now. But, I mean, I liked the idea of this. Owen is a classically underrated wrestler.
Yep.
Overshadowed by a tragic death.
Go back and listen to, believe it's episode 5 of The Essentials, where I rank Owen Hart. I'm going to actually go back and listen to that again and see if I agree with the ratings that I gave it. But yeah, Owen Hart is very, very
underrated.
That's not. We need to find a new word for that. I mean, not just underrated, but I mean, like, just, I guess, like, he's not mentioned enough.
No, he's not, because he lives in that shadow of Brett. The only time he really comes up is, unfortunately, things about his demise or WrestleMania 10.
But everybody loves him, so like whenever there's a rib story, Owen's always going to come up.
I know, but
so he comes up, very daring and loving amongst the boys,
right?
But his matches, like you said, like outside of Brett, they're not. He's had great matches. They've been great.
Yeah,
like. Going back to WrestleMania 5, the Blue Blazer versus Mr. Perfect. Yeah, it was a Superstars or a regular Raw match, but like, if you watch those guys work, everything is in sync. These were guys, two second generation wrestlers that understood the business. Owen did understand the business. As a matter of fact, I believe it was Sean Waltman who said that the only reason why people considered Brett to be the better brothers because Brett took it more serious.
Right,
and literally,
exactly.
That's it. They're like Owen, was very athletic and can do the backflips and like the luchador style to a certain extent with a Canadian twist on it. But yeah, vastly overrated.
Brett had the better look. Overall, the package, the glasses, everything. He had the better look, and he had the better everything, and that's why he is.
But I'm glad. He is. I didn't mean to cut you off, but I'm glad that Owen got a tournament here.
Absolutely. So this was the finals of it, and what a great choice for the final.
Was this the first time that they wrestled Samoa Joe and
I believe. I don't think it's the first time they've wrestled. Ring of Honor definitely they've wrestled. But I believe they also wrestled in WWE when Samoa Joe was NXT champion. I think they've wrestled. I don't know if they wrestled for the title, but I know they've crossed paths.
Okay.
I think they've even crossed paths in maybe like a War Games or something. I don't know. Not 100% sure. I'm not an NXT historian. I just feel like it'd be very criminal to have those two on that black and gold roster.
Hunter would know better.
Yeah, the black and gold roster would not allow that to pass by without having them at least sniff each other. Like, that wouldn't happen. So anyways, to say the fact that I was excited for this was, an understatement, because we all know how much I love Adam Cole. Big mark for Adam Cole, baby. Mr. Britt Baker himself. and Samoa Joe I've always loved. He's a criminally underrated wrestler too. And he's just a badass personified. So I thought this made for a great pairing. Now, Joe, correct me if I'm wrong, is the ROH Pure Champion?
Yes. No, that's
Did he lose it? Oh, he's the ROH TV champion.
Yeah, the ROH TV
So he's a title holder. So I thought the odds of him winning this, were really good until they mentioned that belts were going to be unveiled with this.
They kind of gave it
Once
away.
the belts were unveiled, I said, oh, okay. I feel like Adam Cole might have the dupe here. Because he might have the Duke here because, Adam Cole, we have talked about it. Adam Cole, it was elite before all elite existed.
Yep.
He's the word you create elite for. And since he's come into AEW off the heels of a white-hot debut at the end of Full Gear, it's been crickets.
How about this? Because they debuted the same day. Adam Cole,
Bryan Danielson. There's not even a question.
Okay, I didn't even have to finish asking the question. That's what I'm talking about.
There's not even a freaking question. They haven't known what to do with Adam Cole. They put him against Jungle Boy at first, and we all were like frothing because, that's a great pairing. And that was fine, but he struggled with Jungle Boy. kayfabe-wise. He struggled with them.
He struggled with Orange
He
Cassidy.
struggled with Orange Cassidy was the one where I'm like, wait a minute. Okay. And then put him against Adam Page as the other Adam. And I'm like, okay, this is where, I don't know if they know what they're doing with Adam Cole. And so when they had this tournament, I said, well, wait a minute. This is like the King of the Ring for AEW. It sounds like it could be a launching pad. Even though, I'm not going to get there yet, but even though the person who wins may not necessarily need it, it can't hurt them.
Right.
So Adam Cole, I thought, needed it, and it was a great match. I'm not going to say it's a great match. It was a really good match.
I would rewatch it.
And, yeah, of course, I'm going to rewatch it. You gave it a 2.5, and I gave it a 3.
I think it was also very, we might as well jump there, too, and combine the both. But I thought it was also very foretelling. A few things that was foretelling. When you mentioned that, there was going to be belts involved. So, then they're not going to strap up Samoa. So I can see Adam Cole winning this.
Yeah.
Plus, he's kind of overdue for something.
He's overdue for something.
That's meaningful.
Right.
And then when you have his
Britt versus Ruby Soho show, we'll tie it into this because that was next. When you have his
real-life girlfriend on... Fiance, on the opposite, on the women's side of it, I said, you know what? They could be the first...
Power couple of AEW.
So, so especially after Adam Cole won, beat Samoa Joe, I said, there's no way in the world that Britt Baker's losing.
And that was the thing, too. I think it robbed us of the asymmetry of having Ruby Soho win because that was it. It became predictable when you're like, okay, Adam Cole won this. Oh, there's 2 belts? Oh, and there's a present. I'm like, oh, man. Okay. Yeah. And I love Britt Baker, so I wasn't angry she won. I'm just sitting there going, what are you going to do with Ruby at this point? If you're not going to push her now, you better find a spot for her because the girl is becoming the little engine that won't get any far. And it's not right because she does have a lot to offer. Ruby has a different type of fan base. She's a different type of skill set. She brings a different type of performance. She's not Britt Baker. No one's Britt Baker.
But the women's division is growing because, the first year or the baby years of AEW, those contracts are
so thin.
So now they're starting to fill in with
right. And we glossed over that. So after the Anna Jade Cargill match, we were treated to, I think her name is now Athena. But Ember Moon making her AEW debut for the women's division. I think that's a great fit.
Great addition.
Ember Moon is such a wonderful talent.
Sasha, I know you'll be all elite soon.
I think Sasha will
Trinity, I know you'll be all elite soon.
No, I don't think Naomi will be, but I think Sasha will definitely be. So, and I thought that was cool. As far as Britt and Ruby went for the match, it was nothing special. Nothing special. It muddled along. And I feel like this is something I'm starting to notice. Britt has become a little uninspired lately. Since you took away the women's title.
Since you almost literally took away her
I almost took away her women's title in November. But no, since they have taken off the women's title and put it on Thunder Rosa, Britt has become to the point of needing a reboot and needing a recharge and something else to give her purpose. And this was that launch. So this is that accolade she can throw in people's face and this and that. So it gives her more longevity. It gives her a little bit more fuel to add to her fire for her character. Same with Adam Cole. Now the question is, are they going to be belts that they defend? Or are they just going on a mantle? Or is it something that gets mentioned once a year? That remains to be seen. I don't know if AEW needs another belt to defend. I feel like it should just be like the Andre the Giant Memorial thing. Right. Hey, you won it. It's rad. It's cool. Next year, you either defend it or somebody else will come up and try to win it.
Or treat it like how Ricky Starks does the FTW belt. It's not anything we actually defend. It's not an official title.
No, but you can wear it around.
But yeah, it's an accolade that you can.
Yeah, so I have no problem with it. I gave Britt a 2. You gave it a 1.5. Wasn't anything special. I expected more. Given the talent in there, Ruby and Britt tore the house down on their first match. Yeah. This match was just a very pale in comparison to their first match. But then next, not to be outdone, next was the 6-man tag between Paige Van Zant, Ethan Page, and Scorpio Sky versus Sammy Guevara. Yeah, Sammy Guevara, Ty Conte, and Frankie Kazarian. Okay, I'm not going to waste a lot of time on this. This was kind of annoying. I know it's to get the character of Sammy and Ty as heels over.
Listen, they need no help.
They need no help. It's the audience genuinely fucking hates them. Their heat is nuclear.
Yeah.
They are Chernobyl when they walk on that stage. People genuinely want bad things to happen to them.
Listen, neither one of them can walk down a dark alley and expect anybody to help them.
Nope, exactly. So this match was just kind of like, meh, it was there. I gave it a 1. The lowest of the show, I gave it a 1.
I think
you gave it a 1.5.
Yeah, because like there were spots of good stuff in there. I'm a huge Frankie Kazarian fan.
Right.
I love Scorpio Sky.
Yeah.
Paige Van Zant, this was her debut. Like, it wasn't Ronda Rousey-esque.
Nope.
But, like, I still gave it, I give her respects for coming in and taking this serious. So yeah, like this is more of the effort rating for me. But like I said, I wouldn't, just much like the last match I did. Like, I wouldn't rewatch it. So
I thought Paige was okay. I definitely wasn't Ronda Rousey-esque. I thought she was all right. She was serviceable. I mean, you're putting her against somebody who's not a workhorse and not an amazingly stellar in-ring talent. So she shined a little bit better. But there was nothing special about this. I gave it a 1. You gave it a 1.5. We'll move on. Next up was the Human Car Crash Machine versus Kyle O'Reilly. Darby Allin. Man, this kid just can't have a bad match. He just has great matches.
I'm telling you right now, he's turning into my favorite wrestler.
He's turning into one of my favorites.
Because, one of my favorites, rather, because, like, just like you said, like, I'm entertained in everything this man does. Everything. Even though I'm convinced now, you can't unconvince me that this man is trying to live in a hospice.
Yeah.
Or like he's trying to collect disability for the rest of his life.
Yeah, I mean, he is definitely a workplace accident waiting to happen. He is unreal. I mean, this kid.
Lloyd's of London.
Yeah, he is.
Have him on speed dial.
Yeah, he is a kid. He's a kid, and he is phenomenal at what he does, and the way he can make the impact with his body or his strikes on a 300-plus pound person when he's soaking wet, not even 200 pounds. It's just incredible.
Yeah.
It's so wonderfully done. And I just thoroughly... The coffin drop when he does it is very crisp. He's very entertaining. The matches always flow. They never seem to meander.
Right. There was no sting tonight, though.
There was no sting, which I thought was interesting.
They really went at it, babyface versus heel, one-on-one, nothing crazy. I don't remember. I remember the pinfall finish, but there was nothing insane about it like this.
No, not at all.
Darby Allin lost clean, and he's one of the only guys that can lose clean and still stay strong doing it.
Yeah, and I gave it a 3, and you gave it a 3, and it's a very well-deserved 3.
Oh, yeah.
Because it just, they brought it, and they knew what they were doing, and I just thought, wow, okay. So, up next was the Women's Championship, which is Thunder Rosa versus Serena Deeb. I've always liked Serena Deeb. I've always thought she's a great talent. I've always thought that, she could be a world champion. Any day of the week, I've thought she could be a world champion.
She was a NWA champion.
Right, but I always thought she could be a WWE World Women's Champion or, a TNA or whatever. I always thought she just has that skill set. And I think she needs a work on her gimmick, though. Her gimmick is a little something to be desired.
She's a classic wrestler.
Right, she's a classic wrestler, but it's not really much more bite to that than that.
You can insert Serena Deeb in the 80s and 90s if she can figure
Definitely.
It out. So, I will come to her defense there, but I thought tonight would be her night, honestly.
Yeah.
I really thought tonight would be her night, and I'm not mad that it wasn't. Thunder Rosa is beloved, and I think Thunder Rosa is due for one of those
long reigns,
Hikaru Shida reigns.
Yeah.
So I'm not mad at that, but I hope I see this again. And I hope it happens on a card where I remember saying, man, there's a lot of women's matches on here.
Yeah.
And you know, not any disrespect to the women, but I hope that it happens where it's featured highly. You know, above anything else. Let this be the one women's match on this card, so we can all focus on that and talk about that.
It was for the card. It was
for the card. It was, but
it still wasn't. It still wasn't flawless. Well, no, I'm not gonna say flawless. It still wasn't.
It was serviceable.
It was serviceable, but it wasn't what I wanted. But it's okay, given against what it went up against for the women's matches. It overachieved. I gave it a 2.5. You gave it a 3.
I might want to change that to a 2.5.
Yeah, I think 2.5 is fair. I don't think it was anything 3-worthy. However, they gave this room to breathe, too.
Yeah.
But I feel like they gave it too much room. Like, I left the room at a couple points and came back, and it was still going because I had to do something for my dog. And I was like, man, this is still going. Like, in a pay-per-view that was this bloated, like, ladies and gentlemen, it's 1:30 right now. As we're recording this.
Eastern Standard Time.
This was bloated pay-per-view, so it's like, you know, there's a lot there that they could have cut. There was fat that could have been trimmed. We could have trimmed, you know, Anna Jay and Jade Cargill. We can't trim the women's champion. I mean, you can't. But they could have trimmed off 5-6 minutes of this match for sure. It wasn't needed. It wasn't like one of those Triple H matches where you give it longer and you're going to try to get a classic out of it. It wasn't like that. So I gave it a 2.5. You gave it a 2.5. Now, in retrospect, I feel like that was a fair. Up next was something that I just forgot all about, and it was weird and wacky and wild and fun and wildly entertaining from the get-go. Was the Jericho Appreciation Society versus the Blackpool Combat Club, Eddie Kingston and Santana and Ortiz. Man, wow. I don't know what to say about this.
Surprisingly
so entertaining
for me.
What a mess, literally.
Yeah. It was beautiful, organized confusion.
Mm-hmm. A lot of blood. Once the first person bled, you're like, oh, okay, they bled. And then it was just buckets from there. And it was great, and it had a little bit of everything. It was not the stadium stampede where it was cut angle, cut camera, cut this and that, and it was like hard to follow.
It's pandemonium.
Yeah, it was pandemonium, but it was also in a great mix of in front of the crowd, in the ring, and all that around it. You know what I mean? It had everything.
I can never understand why people put barbed wire under the ring.
I never figured that on a platform. It's almost like they prepared it.
Yeah.
But this one from the beginning, I mean, we all know that Judas is easily the best wrestling anthem, period. And I mean, Cody Rhodes' The Kingdom's song is like up there.
Yeah.
But Jericho and the Society came out looking like Popeye and his like 4 friends. It was very strange. The attire they picked,
looking like a boy band.
They came out looking like a sailor boy band, and it was weird. But Jericho can pull anything off just about. But man, did it hurt a little bit, because Donnie had to point out to me, you know, the power of the follicles is failing the GOAT.
Oh, man.
And it was failing him quite evidently tonight. Man, it was Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania against Undertaker, retiring evident. It was John. It wasn't quite John Cena versus Roman Reigns at SummerSlam last year, evident, but it was up there. And I always thought Jericho had a really thick head of hair. Like, I didn't know this was out of nowhere. I was like, holy crap! But I love Chris Jericho regardless. I think he's probably one of the best of all time. Period. On the very short list to being the greatest. This was cool. It had Eddie Kingston. You know, you're always going to get something good with him. That guy's a nutball. And then it also had the Blackpool Combat Club. No Regal in sight. Regal was not there, was he?
No, he wasn't there.
Right. Bryan Danielson, man, he is just great.
Yeah.
And Moxley is amazing in this role.
He sure is. Like,
so
go back and watch it, everyone.
Yeah, go watch it. You want to kill 30 minutes and just be like, this is wrestling and it's wacky fun and show somebody? Show them this match, please. We didn't rank it, but
I meant to rank it a 3.
I'm giving it a 3
because
I don't think I could give it anything less.
I didn't expect much.
No, I thought this was going to be like in 1.5, 2 area.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be like one of those produced gigs. But.
Yeah, and it was not. So it was really good. And then following that, I don't even have it on the paper now. I'm just, recollecting. Was a triple threat tag team match for the tag team championship of AEW. The tag team champs, Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus, versus Swerve Strickland and Keith Lee. Wow, Keith Lee.
Yeah.
And then who was the other?
And your boy, Absolute Ricky Starks.
Oh, man.
And Powerhouse Hobbs.
Yeah, Team Taz. So this didn't disappoint. This was fun. This was cool. It disappointed in the fact that we're like, oh my God, there's one more match.
Because at this time, it's already 11.
Yeah, I mean, we were just like, oh, come on. Because we knew Punk and Page was going to go 20, 25 minutes minimum.
Yeah.
Plus the aftermath of whoever won the title or whoever kept the title, whatever. It was just like, okay. They gave this thing room to breathe, too. It was a good 15 minutes. And I'm shit. One thing about All Elite Wrestling is you're getting
your time.
You're getting your time. And
you are getting your time.
You're not making an appearance. You're getting paid to work. So, but
I don't know. In retrospect, I'll give it a 2 count because it was very entertaining. For what they gave us. I think it's hard to work with 3 teams. There's too many people.
Yeah. That late at night too. Well, I mean, again, it was late for us. It wasn't late for the West Coast. I keep forgetting that. I feel like, forget even being late. It was a long card. So even on the West Coast, you've been in the ring. Your ass has been in that seat for almost pushing 5 hours. That's a long time. That's Lord of the Rings plus some. So like
the extended cut.
Yeah, like so. I mean, I'll give it a 2.
That's fair.
It was fine. Now, the coup de grace, the end, the finale, CM Punk versus Hangman Adam Page for the AEW World Championship. What we all came to see, what I ordered the pay-per-view for, period. I ordered this off of one match and then Wardlow and MJF. And, so we knew that this was going to be an epic. We knew that I wasn't quite sure how they were going to play this. I didn't know if this was going to be like a Money in the Bank style thing where it's finisher for finisher. Mm-hmm. They try to take each other's finisher. Was it going to be all power moves? Was it going to be fast paced? Was it going to be low?
We had a little bit of all.
We had a little bit of everything. It was old school. It was fast paced. It was everything. And in the end, I feel like I'm not going to give it enough justice, but we're not going to go on too long and wax poetic about it. I feel the right move was made. The end was counter to the buckshot lariat into his go to sleep. Mm-hmm. Clean. No, no schmoz, no interference. Almost. Yeah, almost, but nothing to taint the victory. CM Punk right in the middle. You're new and deserving All Elite World Champion. Yeah. But what I didn't expect was the emotion that flooded from him after that match.
It's a beautiful success story.
And I liked it.
Beautiful comeback story.
But he was legitimately crying.
Yeah.
I was taken back by that.
It symbolizes resilience. Right. I think Tony Khan made a great decision here. And we have not to take anything away from Adam Page, but we have the belt on a certified star that was a star in other companies before.
Yes.
And like I said, the go-to feud standard that I believe that they should be focused on is Punk versus Danielson. I think that's the rivalry of the year.
I think that's what you're going to get. I really do. Or Punk or whoever at the Forbidden Door. Remember, the New Japan will open. Well, that won't be a feud. I think that'll be more of like an exhibition one-off.
Yeah.
But yeah, the next feud that they should focus on is probably Punk and Danielson because you're getting that down the line. But then if you do that and you don't put the belt on Danielson, you make him a 3-time challenger to lose.
Oh, well, I mean,
someone's going to have to lose, right?
Yeah. And I thought Adam Page did a good job today, too.
He did.
Even the one almost schmoz where, obviously, like, wrestling referees have to be the most sensitive guys.
Yeah, I know, the China dolls.
Yeah, that's exactly. They're China dolls. So like during the go to sleep attempt, the referee gets a boot to the face.
Yep.
The belt's in the ring. Adam Page looks at it. Should he use it? Decides not to use it. Decides to go out and win this thing legit.
Yep.
Buckshot lariat attempt reversed into the go to sleep. One thing I do want to say too.
They fucked up the buckshot lariat on both ends multiple times tonight.
Punk,
CM Punk especially.
CM Punk, he technically did the buckshot lariat. That landing on that front flip was a little rough on the tarmac.
It was.
But still, man, like it was a great match, a great main event.
It already got me so pumped for the promo of Dynamite, because I want to see what Punk says his first day as champion. Punk as champion has something that I've been waiting for since 2012, 2013. I'm sorry, when he lost to The Rock. I get it. The Rock was the megastar. That's the situation here. Punk is the Rock in this situation.
No, he's here full time.
No, but Punk is the Rock where you're taking the belt off of somebody who's on a run to give it to a proven man who is going to put asses in the seat. Punk is the Rock. He's the veteran who came in and took the young guy's spot. He did. But he didn't do it right away. He built up to it in an organic way. Like, they could have shot Punk to the top of the card as soon as he debuted. He could have went right against Omega or somebody else. He didn't, and I liked the way that they did that. I also thought it was very interesting because, hey, we're armchair bookers, and we all like to know what we're talking about. Our tagline is, we are the know. For the most part, we do. So I thought when Paige dropped the belt and said, nah, I'm not going to do it that way, I thought, well, this is where old crafty Phil grabs that belt, cracks him in the head, laughs his ass off, and pins him.
You want him to be the champion as a heel.
Right now, I just want him to be a champion.
Well, what did you rate the match?
I give it a 3.5.
Whoa, okay.
I thought it was the best contest on the card. Yes, there was spectacle better than this tonight, but I like the story they told. I liked the old school thing.
Yep.
I liked
That's what I was telling you while we were watching it. So this is the best storytelling.
And I liked the animosity between, I'm going to try to pin him with that guy's finisher and he's going to try to pin him with mine. And I liked it. It was very John Cena and Punk-esque. And I liked it. A lot of kickouts. Obviously, it's all elite wrestling.
Yeah.
But I dug it, and I think the right move came down. And I think...
And that's why I gave it the same, by the way.
Yeah, and also the aftermath helped me push it up a little 0.5 because I didn't expect that out of CM Punk. CM Punk, we're very trained to know is he's a cynical guy, doesn't show a lot of emotion, kind of just a sarcastic twit, and just likes to, stir the pot. He was very human tonight. Yeah. And I was very happy for him.
It was very pleasing to watch.
It was a great ending, and I was very thrilled, and I will rewatch it again for sure.
As will I.
So, and I will not only rewatch it, I will watch Dynamite and the Dynamite after that, and so forth. I'm very excited to see where this goes. I'm not expecting 435 days or 434 days. I'm not. I'm expecting maybe an 8-month reign, 6 to 8 months, and then that's it. But I figured that they did the smart money move tonight, because if you don't do it now or soon, your window to do this for CM Punk is closing very shortly. Your window to do this for Bryan Danielson is closing.
Interesting.
But Bryan Danielson's window, I think, is open a little bit more.
Okay.
So
he has a shorter contract, by the way, I think.
I know, but I still think it's open more.
Well,
but yeah, that's really the thoughts in a nutshell. I wasn't disappointed. It was longer than Revolution. How it was longer than Revolution, I can't believe, but it was.
It was.
But it didn't feel as trudgingly long as Revolution was.
I agree.
Revolution, we were falling asleep in the theater. We were struggling with our head bobbling.
Sure.
I was ready for this,
Indeed. Well, gang, there you have it. This year's installment of Double or Nothing 2022. For Joey Business, I'm Donnie Wonderful. Thanks for tuning in, guys.